Marvel. We need to talk, Marvel. We need to talk. We need to have a heart to heart here because you're going off the rails a little too much. You're making competent movies incompetently. You're having competent ideas initiated incompetently. You're taking the Kingdom Hearts approach, and while that's certainly an approach you have the right to make, it's not necessarily a good one. What is the Kingdom Hearts approach? Well, before the bundle editions to Kingdom Hearts, it's like the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 for the Story So Far edition, the Story So Far edition being the best version, which contains all of the games. 1.5 just has Kingdom Hearts 1, Rechain of Memories, and 365 and a half days. And 2.5 has Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and Recoded. That's 6 titles across 2 games. And then we have the Story So Far, which includes all 6 of those, including Dream Drop Distance and a bunch of other stuff besides. And you get to have the whole story, which is a good idea to have everything in one single location. However, there's a problem here. Before the bundles were released, we had them released across all sorts of different things. The first Kingdom Hearts game was on the PlayStation 2, so you have a PlayStation 2, play the game, you're fine. Then the very next game was Chain of Memories, which was released for the Game Boy Advance. If you had a Game Boy Advance, you could play this. If you did not, then you could not. Eventually, they remade Chain of Memories into Rechain of Memories and released that on the PS2, so you could play that. Then they released, the DS came out, and they released 365 and a half days for the DS. And that's where you get to introduce to Roxas, other members of Organization 13. You can see more members of Organization 13 in Chain of Memories, so you get all those storylines in those 2 games. However, if you went from Kingdom Hearts 1 into Kingdom Hearts 2, just immediately thinking, oh, this is just going to be a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1, no, you're wrong! Kingdom Hearts 2 is actually following up on story elements introduced in Chain of Memories and 365 and a half days. If you did not play either one of those 2 stories, you will be lost, which is what I was. When I went from Kingdom Hearts 1 directly into Kingdom Hearts 2, I had no idea who Roxas was, I had no idea what Twilight Town was, I had no idea who the organization was. I was lost for a very great long portion of this story, and I had no idea why they called this Kingdom Hearts 2 when it was a sequel to a bunch of other things. And they released all of these things across different things. You had to have a DS or a Game Boy Advance to grab the original Chain of Memories, or 365 and a half days. Luckily, they released Chain of Memories for the PS2, but they did not do that for Days. So you still needed a DS to get the Days story. And then they had the PSP, and they released Birth by Sleep on the PSP, which is very important story elements as well, but you needed a PSP to play that story. Then they released Kingdom Hearts Coded for the DS, or was it the 3DS? And then they released Dream Drop Distance, I believe on either the Vita or the 3DS. And then there was a mobile phone game called Key, that's XI, and everything is canon. It's all canon. So that when you finally got to the final latest installment, Kingdom Hearts 3, you needed everything. Everything that came before it. You needed all of it to understand Kingdom Hearts 3. And if they did not release a bundle edition, physically, too, you could a physical bundle edition, then you would have had to have gotten a PS2, a DS, a 3DS, a PSP, a mobile phone. At the very least, you needed all these things to get the full Kingdom Hearts story, which is very, 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 very irritating. And Square realized how irritating that was. Square did. Square realized that this was a very irritating thing that they probably should not be doing. And so they decided to release a bundle edition where you can get everything in one location, which is the right thing to do. Disney seems to think that the bundle edition, the one-stop shop, is their streaming service. I don't agree with them at all. I think their streaming service is not the correct path to take here, because you have to keep paying a subscription to access this content. The Kingdom Hearts Story So Far edition is a one-time purchase. You purchase it one time and it's yours for as long as you want it, or as long as the copy lasts. As soon as Disney Plus launched, the streaming model launched, as soon as it launched, they started to make TV shows. TV show after TV show after TV show after TV show after TV show. And what I found is that when they started to make these TV shows, their movies started to be lackluster. They started to be poor in quality. Doctor Strange 2 requires that you watch WandaVision to understand it. If you have not watched WandaVision, then Doctor Strange 2 is going to be very irritating to watch. You don't know why Wanda's going crazy. She has kids? How did she have kids? When did she have kids? Why does she care about her make-up, make-believe kids? Why did... You had to watch WandaVision. And they did not release that a physical copy for a great long time. For a good long while. And they didn't release it on physical by the time that Doctor Strange 2 released. And honestly, if I were your marketing guy, Disney, by the time that Doctor Strange 2 came out, you should have released WandaVision right next to it. You should have released it into a bundle pack even. A bundle edition where if somebody bought Doctor Strange 2, they could have had access to both Doctor Strange 2 and WandaVision into a single purchase. That would have been a logical choice. Speaking of logical choices, releasing Captain America Brave New World, you should have released Falcon and the Winter Soldier into a 2-pack edition with that, because you really need Falcon and the Winter Soldier to understand a great deal of what goes on in this movie. In fact, I would honestly argue that you probably shouldn't have made Falcon and the Winter Soldier, period. I would have said that this movie, part of this movie, should have been the Falcon and the Winter Soldier movie. You should have called it Captain America Brave New World if you want, but most of the story should have been Falcon and the Winter Soldier plus half of what's good in this movie. That should have been your concise movie there. There should not have been a Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show. You don't need it. It doesn't need to exist. WandaVision could have been a movie. And most of these shows, TV shows that you've made, could have been movies. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know why somebody made the decision to make them TV shows instead. Oh, honestly, I do know why. It's to get people to buy your streaming service. To get people to buy your streaming service and pay monthly, recurring payments monthly to access something that they don't actually own. I like to own the things that I watch. I don't like to not own them, you know. It's not even like Blockbuster renting. You're not renting the thing. You don't have control over that, right? Because because if you subscribe to a streaming service, that streaming service is in control of what you could watch on that platform. For example, Willow, the TV show. Disney pulled that. It's not necessarily a good TV show, but they pulled it, meaning you can't access it. You're paying a monthly subscription for all of the content, but you're not in control of what content you get to watch, even though you're paying for it. That pisses me off. Honestly, I don't care if you're making all of your TV shows. I really don't. I don't care if you're making TV shows. You can make as many as you want. Just don't make them canon to the movies. Don't make the movies reliant on a TV show as part of its story. That harms the storytelling and harms the audience. Because if the audience goes into this movie and they've only seen the movies, they haven't seen any of the TV shows, they're going to wonder, well, how did you get that suit? Why is Bucky in a Congress suit now? Who is this guy? Oh, why is this happening here? And it goes into the next movie that we're going to talk about. And we go like, well, who's this guy? Oh, he was introduced in this TV show. Oh, who is this guy? Oh, he was introduced in that TV show. And it's very irritating. It's just so friggin' irritating to me. What works for me in this movie is the other half, the half that's not the Captain America part. Half of this movie is a Hulk movie, and honestly, if you just made a Hulk movie, this would have been fine. But I understand why you can't do that. You don't own the rights. It's very disappointing. I don't know why you can't just make a deal with Universal like you do with Sony to make a Hulk movie that Marvel's creative control has creative control over, and make like some sort of royalties or budget or profit margin deal. Maybe 75 goes to Universal, 25 goes to Marvel, or something like that, so that we can make a canon Hulk standalone movie. Having a Red Hulk movie like this, honestly, I'm all for it. I love the idea. Harrison Ford as Ross, it's fine. He carries this movie. Everything with him and his character and his dynamic and his struggles was fantastic. The stuff with Sam the Falcon does not work as strongly for me. It's not necessarily something that I feel is as strongly portrayed, because a bulk of the Falcon's growth, his character growth after Endgame, happened in a TV show. So we don't get access to as much of that character and that character growth that we saw in the TV show, because the TV show has. You should have given that character growth to him in this movie, so that we can resonate with him a little bit better. Because right now you're just rehashing something that he already figured out in a TV show, but you're not doing it as strongly here because he's already done it. It's like making a movie, Star Wars A New Hope. You release that in theaters. But Empire Strikes Back was a TV show, and it was released only on a streaming service that only a fraction of your audience has access to. And then we release Return of the Jedi in theaters. And audiences who have only seen A New Hope, they have not seen Empire because they don't have access to the streaming service, and they don't want the streaming service. They wanted to see this in the theaters, so they go in to see Return of the Jedi, and they see everybody going onto Tatooine to try to rescue Han, who was trapped in carbonite, and your viewers are completely confused. They're wondering, what the is going on? The last time we saw Han in A New Hope, he was just fine. Why is he frozen now? What's going on? And then your execs say, oh, this happened in our TV show. It's on our streaming service. And that's going to piss audiences off. They're going to say, no, don't do that. That the Empire should have been a movie. It shouldn't have been a TV show. These mediums need to be kept separate. And the Marvel of the olden days, prior to Disney Plus, knew this. And as much as I hate all of the TV shows of Star Wars being stuck on Disney Plus, I like this model, that they're only making TV shows on Disney Plus. If you come back and you make a movie, I want you to not reference any of the TV shows. Make it a completely independent story, so that audiences go in and they can watch something that they don't need to do TV show homework on. Brave New World is a movie that you need to do TV show homework on. Falcon and the Winter Soldier primarily. And if you have not watched that, you're going to be a little bit lost. You're also going to need to watch the Universal Hulk movie with Edward Norton, because it has a lot of plot elements from that added in as well. So if you haven't watched that, you better get on that. It was one of the villains is from that Universal movie. Either way, this movie's fine. But the problem is the lack of a strong leading hero. The Falcon cannot stand on his own with half of a character growth story. Most of the character growth that I would have preferred Falcon have here happened in a TV show. Give that growth to this movie, and he would have been a much stronger character, in my personal opinion. Make Bucky the secondary character instead of this new Falcon guy. That's another idea. Whoever the frick this guy is, oh, it's in a TV show. It's in the TV show. And people who haven't watched the TV show going, who the hell is this guy? And stop. Okay? Stop. Old Marvel knew better. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., may have referenced the movies, but the movies did not reference Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You did not need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, Daredevil, Iron Fist. You didn't watch any of that stuff to understand the movies. And that's the right way to do this. You should not... You should not do it this way, okay? Not everybody has Disney Plus. Not everybody who watches your movies has Disney Plus. And they're not going to get it. Even if you keep on doing it this way, you keep on shoving TV show characters in here. You keep on shoving TV show Easter eggs and origins to these characters in a TV show. And you bring them in here with no introduction because their introduction was in a TV show. And you keep saying, oh, just get our streaming service. You'll understand it there. Audiences are going to just rebel. They're just going to stop. They're going to stop watching. They're going to stop watching your shows. You're going to lose money in this model. You keep saying you keep forcing people to watch your TV shows on your streaming service, and you're going to lose a large fraction of your audience. If you like money, this is the wrong way to get it. Okay? It really is. I don't care if you have TV shows. Make them about all sorts of obscure characters. But you gotta keep the two canons separate. Like the Offspring song. Gotta keep them separated. Yeah, you gotta keep them separated. If you make your Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, fine. Keep it separate. When we come back to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the movies, anything from the TV show is not canon to the movie. That's how you do it. That's how you retain your cinematic universe. Alright? Or you should just release all of your TV shows in whatever. For example, when you released Doctor Strange 2, you should have released WandaVision right in there in a packaged 2-part content physical version. Same with Captain America Brave New World. It should have been packaged with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It should have been packaged with it. Every single regular DVD copy should have been packaged with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Deadpool and Wolverine should have been packaged with Loki Season 1. So that we know who the time people are. Because, it would have been better if you start packaging your TV shows. Movies that reference the TV show should have the TV show included. So that not everybody who... If you don't have the streaming service, you don't have to get it. You could still... Marvel, Disney can still make their money in the physical market. Right? That's my suggestion. If you're gonna make them canon, that's how you do it. If you're not going to make them canon, then make as many TV shows exclusive to Disney Plus as you want. Make as many as you want. Even make movies even exclusive to Disney Plus. So long as everything on your Disney Plus platform is not canon to your theatrical universe. Okay? Theatrical universe should stay separate to the TV shows. That's my rant. That's my rant on Brave New World. The movie is a very missed opportunity. There's half of a great movie in here. The Hulk stuff is fantastic. The poor stuff is the Captain America Falcon part. It really needed a lot of the character growth from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to be put into the movie instead. And it's just not there. It's just not there. Falcon, the new Falcon, he should have been introduced in this movie. Instead, he's a returning character from a TV show. That's a missed opportunity. That's a problem. It irritates me. It really does.